This is the Persian Gulf War Project by Cole Schultz, Adam Cochran, Sam Olson, and Andy Stafford. This is the story of the Persian Gulf War and its major military operation, Desert Storm. On August 2nd, 1990, the Gulf War started when Iraq leader Saddam Hussein accused Kuwait of stealing petroleum through slant drilling into the country of Iraq's oil fields. Saddam Hussein then ordered the invasion and occupation of Kuwait. He agreed to leave Kuwait in exchange of Kuwait and Saudi Arabia dropping Iraq's $30 billion debt to them. On August 2nd, 1990, shortly after Iraq invades Kuwait, the UN passed a resolution for Iraq to withdraw from Kuwait by January 15, 1991, and impose sanctions if they do not comply. On August 2nd, 1990, President George H.W. Bush ordered his Operation Desert Shield, which is an order for the buildup of the United States Armed Forces in Saudi Arabia, which is a major U.S. ally in the Middle East. Start of Operation Desert Storm. The Persian War had the Iraqi army against the coalition forces, which consisted of 32 allied countries. On February 17, 1991, the UN authorized the invasion against the Iraqis holding Kuwait, Operation Desert Storm. On February 24, 1991, the coalition forces launched a massive ground attack against the Iraqi forces. Operation Desert Storm was a massive attack of offensive bombings and airstrikes from the U.S. on Iraqi forces occupying Kuwait. The U.S. was dominated with the constant bombing and mortaring. The Iraqi forces were defenseless because their anti-aircraft defenses were targeted and destroyed first. By February 24, 1991, the coalition forces had shifted towards a ground offense and the Iraqi forces were defeated. On February 27, 1991, Kuwait was liberated. Ending of Desert Storm. On February 28, 1991, President George H.W. Bush announced the suspension of the U.S. soldiers in combat operations and bringing an end to Desert Storm operations. This day marks the end of the Persian Gulf War. On April 6, 1991, the United Nations Security Council made Iraq agree to a resolution calling for Iraq and Kuwait to respect the boundary between the two countries. The United Nations called on General Javier Perez de Cuellar to assist in keeping the peace on the border. Also, in order to destroy all of Iraq's chemical weapons and ballistic missiles with a range bigger than 150 kilometers, a huge step towards bringing back peace in the Middle East. This war is justified because not only was Kuwait a major U.S. ally to the U.S., but its neighboring country, Saudi Arabia, was a huge ally towards the U.S. And if Iraq were to have taken Kuwait, then Saudi Arabia would have been in danger of invasion from Iraq too. The U.S. death toll was only 149. While that is still too many soldiers to be lost, Iraqi's death count was 20,000 to 35,000 soldiers killed.